Let's bring him on up. It's Rich Finlinson from the Utah Education Network.
Thank you. Who needs any stress-busting techniques on a beautiful Friday afternoon? Probably the best weather we've had of the year. It's Friday, we're among friends, we're learning from each other. We probably don't need A to Z stress busters right now, but if you need them in the future, here are some that you could use. Now, this is not in alphabetical order. It's in the later alphabet there, and the big four to remember are GMSA. GMSA. We'll come back to that. These are the 4 stress busters you really need to remember, but let's talk about 3. Connect through Fitbit. So I have the Apple Watch, but I used to have the Fitbit. I'm suggesting that you not only use these to exercise with, but connect with people through them. I'm using my watch to connect with my daughter, Anne, and her husband, Colin. So as I do exercise, I can see what they're doing through their days, and they can give me a hard time. Rich, you were going to swim today, or Dad, you were going to swim today. The next 3, obey your watch. If you have the iWatch, how many of you have the iWatch? It's going to tell you things like breathe. It's going to tell you things like, oh, it's time for you to stand up from your desk. I did not do any breathing when I made this slide. It said you have 0 minutes today, but I did have a resting heart rate of 71 beats per minute. Let's think about how important breathing is to our lives, to being able to do yoga. Let's just try an inhale here. Just try one. Oh, that feels so good. And then blow it out. Imagine as you exhale that you are a fire-breathing dragon. So inhale and then see all that fire coming out? You can destroy anything that is going to cause you stress when you exhale like a fire-breathing dragon. Try that for breathing. Join, Kindle, question. A lot of the talks so far have talked about getting together with people, socially, online, or in person. We're doing that here. As you join with groups like UCET, use that to kindle discussions, to ask questions. LUV, love is always a great thing, including laughter, upgrading skills like you're doing right here, and how important, you all know this, to be able to visualize the end result of what you're trying to do. DN, doodle in your notebook. I really like the trend toward these Bullitt Notebooks. Michael Hakkarainen talked to me about these. This is a doodle from this notebook, preparing for this presentation with the ABCs. Notice my Z. You like the way I did the Z in there? A little callback to kindergarten, my dyslexic past. Recreate and exercise. Did you see how I snuck the X in there to exercise? Okay. We're building up toward the end here, the GMSA that I talked to you about. Sometimes when you're exercising, really important to do the balance thing. Can you do the balance thing? We know from research that your brain behaves differently when you're physically balancing. And I got to learn this when I found myself at the top of a 54-foot climbing wall, and I needed to use this GMSA. This is the Navy SEAL way of dealing with stress. You set goals, you mentally rehearse, you talk to yourself positively, you tell yourself, I can do this, I'm not going to fall off the wall, and you control arousal by breathing. If you breathe calmly, your body will react calmly. So I find myself on this wall needing to take a fall. Here's my first fall. But I didn't do it right. Hakkarainen said, oh, you got to climb up and do it again to get it right. So there was fall number 1. I reclimbed the wall, got up to the top, and I took a fall, this time looking at the camera. And he said, okay, good. So he would let me down. Thank you, Michael, for teaching me some rock climbing. My final tip for you today goes to Z. Zig, zag, zip, zoom, zero out, zoom in, zest, zeal, with so much more than zero in mind. If you'd like more ideas about stress busters, I'll give you not these 26, but better ones at uen.org/rich UCET17.com/handouts. Thank you, UCET.